Welcome to Richie Shot.
Trump taps Stephen Moran for Fed. Markets brace for a shift. On Thursday, Donald Trump announced that he's nominating Stephen Moran to temporarily fill a vacant seat on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. Moran would be stepping in for Adriana Kugler, a Biden appointee who's leaving her post on Friday. If confirmed by the Senate, Moran will serve until January 31st, 2026. Moran, currently the chair of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, is known for strongly backing Trump's economic playbook, especially tax cuts and tariffs. He argues these moves fuel growth without necessarily driving up inflation. That view puts him at odds with current Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who has warned that Trump's tariffs could reignite inflation. Last week, Powell held interest rates steady at 4.3%, a decision that drew Trump's fury. On social media, he called Powell a stubborn moron. Moran's appointment would almost certainly mean a vote for lower interest rates, a stance that could reshape the Fed's direction. Kugler, by contrast, had aligned with Powell's more cautious approach, preferring to assess the impact of tariffs before making moves. The nomination is Trump's first real chance to gain more influence over the Fed, but it also raises alarms about the Fed's political neutrality, a key pillar in managing inflation and ensuring long-term economic stability. Markets are watching closely. With inflation fears still simmering, Moran's voice at the table could make the next Fed decision much more unpredictable. Summer's here, and we're all dreaming of a getaway. But before you book your next hotel stay, here's a travel industry bombshell you should know about. Booking.com, the platform most of us rely on for holiday planning, is now facing a massive lawsuit that could reshape how the online travel world works. Booking.com hit with major lawsuit from 10,000 plus European hotels. More than 10,000 hotels across Europe have joined a class action lawsuit against Booking.com, claiming the travel giant used its dominance to distort the market for 2 decades. The suit is led by Hotrec, the Association of Hotels, Restaurants, and Cafes in Europe. They've even extended the deadline to join until August 29th due to overwhelming interest. At the heart of the case are so-called best price or parity clauses, which allegedly forced hotels to promise that Booking.com would always have the lowest room rate, even lower than the hotel's own website. Hotrec argues this gave Booking.com unfair control over pricing and blocked hotels from offering better deals elsewhere, ultimately hurting their revenues and limiting consumer choice. The legal action filed in Amsterdam aims to recover damages dating back to 2004, a full 20-year span, up until the clause was dropped in 2024 to comply with the new EU Digital Markets Act. It follows a 2024 European Court of Justice ruling that found these clauses violated EU competition law. Booking.com has pushed back, saying Hotrec's claims are incorrect and misleading, and that no formal class action notice has been received. They also argue that parity clauses encourage competitive pricing and cite a poll showing 74% of hoteliers felt the platform improved their profits. Still, with thousands of hotels saying enough is enough, this case could bring long-awaited reform to digital travel platforms, and maybe even impact the way you book your next vacation. In a world full of headlines, here's one that's actually made in America. While tech stocks climb and AI dominates the buzz, Apple just made a massive move to double down on the US, and it could reshape how and where your iPhone is made. Let's dive into it. Apple drops $100 billion on U.S. manufacturing. Total investment hits $600 billion. Apple has announced a new $100 billion commitment to the United States, bringing its total U.S. investment to a staggering $600 billion over the next 4 years. The centerpiece? A bold new initiative called the American Manufacturing Program, AMP, aimed at strengthening Apple's domestic supply chain and bringing more high-tech manufacturing back to American soil. This includes new and expanded work with 10 companies across America, said CEO Tim Cook, adding that the components made here power Apple products sold worldwide. According to Apple, 2/3 of those U.S.-made parts are actually exported, a reminder that American factories still matter on a global stage. Apple already works with thousands of suppliers across all 50 states, supporting more than 450,000 suppliers. Apple also plans to hire 20,000 people across the U.S. in roles like AI, chip design, and software engineering. Big money, big jobs, and big plans, all made in America.
The global AI race just got another serious player.
While the US and China dominate headlines in terms of AI, South Korea is making its move. And it's not just talk. The country is rallying its biggest tech giants and sharpest startups to build its own homegrown AI powerhouse. Let's dig in. South Korea launches ambitious plan to build national AI model. In a bold push to catch up with the US and China, South Korea has launched a major national initiative to develop a foundational AI model powered mostly by homegrown technology. The effort brings together the country's top tech firms and most promising startups, aiming to create an AI ecosystem that's both competitive and largely self-sufficient. The government's goal? To build an end-to-end AI stack, from semiconductors to software using South Korean tech. By investing heavily in domestic capabilities, Seoul wants to reduce reliance on foreign platforms and position itself as a third global force in AI alongside the US and China. While other countries have leaned on global partnerships, South Korea is going local, a rare move in the world of foundation models, where access to massive datasets and advanced chips is often concentrated in just a few regions. Whether this approach will close the AI gap remains to be seen. But one thing's clear, South Korea is no longer content to watch from the sidelines. Tech's new world map is being drawn, and Seoul wants a seat at the table. Crypto fam, it's been a long ride, but one of the industry's biggest legal battles is finally over. If you've been watching XRP since the 2020 cliffhanger lawsuit, today's update is the closure the market's been waiting for. And yep, price action is already reacting. Let's get into it. SEC versus Ripple. Case closed. XRP pops 10%. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Ripple Labs have officially ended their high-stakes legal showdown. In a joint filing submitted Thursday, both parties agreed to withdraw their appeals and wrap the case for good. No winners, no losers. Each side will cover its own legal costs. The legal wrap-up gave XRP an immediate boost, with the token jumping over 10% in 24 hours to reach $3.31, showing just how much investor confidence was tied to regulatory uncertainty. Bottom line, with one of crypto's longest and loudest legal sagas finally put to bed, the market is breathing a cautious sigh of relief. But eyes are still on the SEC as it continues to tighten its grip on the broader crypto space. That's a wrap for today's Richie Shot. From Trump to Apple, Booking.com to Ripple, politics, tech, and crypto delivered a packed headline day. Next week, we'll see where the markets go and how regulators keep shaping the story. Until then, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you Monday.